Three sisters with stories to tell. Books in our hands, we know them well. Flipping pages where dreams dwell. Chapter one, here you go. Turn the light, let the words flow. Laughs and love in every show. Books, sweet hearts, we grow.
Welcome back to another episode of the Sister Shelf Banter. Today we are doing the finale episode, A Throne of the Fallen. I personally really enjoyed this book. I'm sad that the characters are over, but
And I am too.
I'm also just not used to reading books that only are one book.
I
or a
need more.
character. Yeah, I think, honestly, I can't remember the last time I read a book that didn't have a follow-up. So I'm really like, what the heck? I'm going through withdrawals already.
Well, I will say it's at least better that it's a connected series versus
Sure.
a
There's a chance.
standalone novel
We
or
might get
novella.
a chapter on them or something.
And we love them so much. Like, I feel like how she's writing her characters, that we would love the characters in another book.
No, for sure. Every time, even the whole 3 parts of Sarah J. Maas, I was like, every time I'm like, no, I don't want to start a new one. But then I would fall in love with them. So
Yeah. Just have to let it happen.
it's also just nice to skip that confusion part of the books in the beginning. I
Yeah.
think that's probably why I actually like it the most, because you just jump right in and you know what's going on.
You pick up where you left off. You're not learning what kind of magic they have. Who are these characters? How do you pronounce their names?
Yeah, I can focus on just the story.
There we go.
But
And
anywho,
full disclosure, I will have a somewhat of a lisp this evening because I finally put my retainers back in after
I did too. And my teeth
8
are already
months.
getting sore.
Yeah. It's not feeling nice in here, but I have forgotten how to speak like a normal human with retainers in.
My mouth will be normal for our recording.
Even my mouth, I hold my lips differently.
I do too.
Yeah. But anyways.
Now that everybody knows about our teeth.
We'll jump into the rapid recap from the last episode.
Here we go. Rapid recap. It's probably one of the shortest ones I've
go.
written. Envy and Camilla finally ended their one night. They traveled to Rat's Circle, where he tried to deny them access to the Twin Pillars. Thankfully, though, he does what his lady says, and he allowed them to access through the Crescent Shallows, where the waters allow nothing made and nothing but the truth. Abyssus lives down there, and we don't like him. We figured out. He stopped their approach. Things were going well. He kind of trapped Camilla in this void for a bit. She woke up. She was being attacked by vampire Vexley, who turned into a crazy werewolf and bit Envy's head off. And she realized that didn't happen for real, and she had no idea what was going on. She went back to the void, but she finally got pulled out. Envy is in the cave, in the cavern where the Twin Pillars are, chained up, and he's getting the shit beat out of him by vampire Vexley, who is a real thing apparently. And this has been happening to him for days, because apparently that's how long Camilla was trapped for. When she finally found him, she snuck up, beheaded Vexley, and she had to solve a riddle to free him and be of his chains. He's super weak at this point. And so now they're very short amount of time to get out of there. They're looking at the pillars. Camilla figures it out, but she got him to open up about everything with his court and why he is in the game before she would give him the secret. She tried to be like, hey, I need to tell you something, but they didn't have enough time. And obviously it was going to be very important. And before she could do that, they stepped into the portal, into the realm of the unseelie. Mostly did that one from memory. It was not detailed, but I did it.
The only thing I would add, and honestly, I blinked out there so you could have said it, was just that what we're walking into now is Camilla was trying to tell Envy this
secret.
deep, dark secret that we don't know yet.
I don't think I put enough emphasis on it, but I did
Yeah.
say it. Like, she's trying to tell him something important that
Mhm.
she should have told him a long time ago, and they don't have time for it. He's like,
Yeah.
we don't have time for this. Like, tell me later. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not,
And
it's
then
not.
we find
Famous
out
last
very
words.
quickly in chapter 60.
Yes, we do. That was the rapid recap, everybody. The last one for Throne of the Fallen.
Such a sad day. I really did enjoy this one.
You're welcome. I picked it.
Too. For the record, I think you also picked it for me at the bookstore that Christmas.
I did. I have good
Yeah.
taste. You're welcome,
Yeah.
both of you.
You picked
I
it
mean,
by
most of my
the
library is off of you,
dedication.
so. All right, then let's jump in to chapter 60 and find out what the heck is going on and what this big secret is.
What were we screaming about individually reading this?
Haha.
Take it away,
Yes.
Aaron.
Take it away.
Okay, so the scene, yes, they have walked through the portal and they're in the wild court of the Unseelie, and they land basically right off of Lennox's garden room. And this is a pretty common place for them to be. It's outdoors in the moonlight. There's lots of flora, dancing, fighting, and general debauchery. And tensions are very high for Camilla and Envy. So as soon as they kind of look around, they realize that everybody notices them. They have kind of stopped doing what they're doing and they're just staring at them. And Camilla's like, nope, throws up her defiant shield and immediately just marches toward Lennox. And Envy's like, basically, hey, wait for me, like, hold up. And, he's worried that she's about to go ape shit on some people, and he still has something that he has to get from Lennox. Like, he doesn't want her to blow it all up, but he also can't draw attention to anything. So as they're
He
marching their way down.
specifically says to be Seelie in this place is not ideal.
Yeah. So Lennox notices them and he literally stops mid-sentence with what he's doing and turns his full attention to them, which we get the gist that's not a very comfortable spot to be in. And we learn, which I thought was really cool and kind of ties into the description of Abyssus, but that Lennox is actually a Titan, but
Yeah, and he highlighted like that whole thing. I was like, what the heck?
but the main difference between how human perceive Titans of being overthrown by their children is actually that didn't happen. They actually thrive on all the chaos that their children have created for them, which is wild, but we're not surprised. At least I'm not. So at this point, Envy is commiserating his situation, and he's under the impression that Camilla is Seelie, and he believes that Lennox's intent for the whole game was actually something called the Wild Hunt, which it's an annual event where he unleashes the worst of the worst hunters loose on the human and fae. And so, of course, the Seelie were like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. So he's thinking that she is a Seelie and he's going to hold her hostage until the Seelie agreed to give him this hunt back.
Yeah, because he's giving her like a lot of attention, and V's noticing the way he's looking at her, and like she definitely is the prize for him.
Yeah. And then Camilla addresses this man in quite a familiar tone.
I imagine her going, Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, and she's definitely giving him shit. And yeah, he thinks he's like the younger brother of anybody that has a younger brother. Like, they think they're the baddest cat in the alley. and then you walk up and you're
You
like,
have one.
yeah. And you're like, really? Like, oh, okay. You're so cool. Like, it was very much that vibe. And
I think you're cool, Jonathan.
Me too.
I love you regardless. So it's fine. But as he is listening to their banter back and forth,
He's over here like,
it something like the familiarity in their exchange, it's like it clicked, the light bulb goes off, and Envy realizes his mistake and he realizes what the truth is. And then he just has this rush of just absolute betrayal on
fair.
her part, which, yes. And he also has to hide this because he cannot let Lennox know. But it is officially and finally in print revealed that Camilla is one, Seeley. Suck it, Chrissy. Two,
I admit when I'm
I'm not
wrong.
done.
I texted you when it happened. I was like, well, shit. I was wrong.
You did. You definitely did. But not only is she unseelie, she is also Lennox's daughter, aka an unseelie princess.
His
Knew
worst
it.
enemy.
Called it.
Mhm.
And it's when he has this realization, he even thinks to himself, he's like, to think, I had been willing to rethink my one night rule for her, and she was deceiving me all the while, like screwing me on my throne.
This made me so mad that he would even think that of her.
Me too. When I was reading the
But that
end
would
of
be
this
like,
chapter,
he should have
I'm not mad
internalized
at
that
him
a
at
little
all.
more. Well,
Absolutely not.
she hasn't done anything to indicate that.
no.
Like, she obviously was hiding in the Mortal Lands. Like, come on, guys.
He was
I get
about
it.
to tell
Woo.
her he was lying to her too. Like the whole thing, neither of them were being honest, which was like the point of their game.
Feel like you guys are being very surface level with this. Like Lennox is the absolute worst. He has completely
He
destroyed
took his girlfriend.
No, he destroyed his entire he's the
I
reason
know.
all these people are dead. And
I mean, he's going to give us all the reasons why he should have been thinking about this longer in like the last chapter. So I won't sit here and list why his jumping to conclusion was fucking rude, but
it's not rude, it's normal.
You guys want to know a realization that I just had in this moment before the arguing just now? Is
I'm
that
a genius and you should listen to everything that I come up with in the future.
the princess was promised to Zaris.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I wasn't
Well,
ever
one
going to admit that she was a princess, but like, I'm sure that she was the one that was promised to him. So he
Probably.
probably knew that whole time that she was an unseelie princess.
Mhm.
Zaris, I
Which
don't
I
know
think
that
when
he
we
would
read
have.
that, I brought up, what if she is one of Lennox's children?
Yeah, I know you did. Good job. Good intuition.
I mean, I'd only been saying it since like the second part, but nobody wants to listen to me. Anyways, it's fine.
If you had anything else to add at the end of the chapter, sorry.
Only that the chapter ends with Envy finally addressing Lennox, and it's like, look, the game is over. Where's my prize?
But his heart.
Also, listen, a flash crossed his mind when she had nearly fainted on Vexley's roof. The metal roof had been iron. No wonder she had gotten so ill. Thank you, finally.
Yes, finally.
I'm so glad that we did not get left hanging on that
Me too.
mystery.
That was one I was carrying all the way through.
You were.
Honestly, I had let that go a long time ago.
No, but you missed the part about his heart growing back.
Oh, yeah, it came back at the wrong time.
Yeah, because when I'm too detailed, you guys complain that I don't give you guys anything to talk about.
Oh, well, it was just in, like, literally the first half of the sentence you said, but yeah.
His heart started growing back at the most inopportune moment because it started breaking immediately.
Yeah.
I loved his like screwing Envy and his throne because he thought she was mocking him by taking him on his throne. She was not. She was not, sir.
And then he's like, it's quite impressive how like she is to Lennox. That was when I was like, ugh. And like, again, like he goes through it too, but when he's telling her all this and she's literally crying.
Her brother apparently has a carnival, Moonlight Carnival, which she gets kind of mocked for. Yeah. Camilla went in there all confidence. Gotta love her.
No, yeah, she was just like, yeah,
I feel
okay,
like
here
it
I am.
was more self-preservation than
Yeah, but she had bravado.
confidence.
Yeah.
Like she went in there like looking confident at least.
Mhm.
She was familiar and cold,
Mm-hmm.
as she should be for self-preservation.
Mhm.
Nothing
Anything else?
to add.
Envy says, "Yeah, where's my prize? I want to get the f out of here."
Yeah. Okay. So chapter 61. Lennox is really annoying in this chapter to me. I don't know about you guys, but
I don't like him. No,
I don't like him at all.
I mean, no, but it's like above and beyond. So Camilla is trying to just like get this done and over with and get the hell out of here. So she's like, look, he won, but I want my talent back now. And give Envy his reward and just be done with him. Like let him go.
And they're
And
both, well, obviously Envy hates her now, but before and now, like they're both very much like trying not to show Lennox that they have any sort of feelings
yeah,
for
they're
one another.
they're trying to both act like the other isn't even there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but she's like internalizing. She knows he hates her,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, she can
she's
feel it,
like,
the loathing
yeah,
coming from
he
behind
knows
her.
he jumped to all the wrong conclusions, and like she's mad because she hasn't said what like told her the truth. She wants to comfort her. I'm like,
Mm.
but she can't show weakness. Yeah.
Yeah. So even her saying all of this sets Lennox off because she is speaking for Envy. And he's like, why? And so Camilla does kind of go like off the rails a little bit with him. She definitely catches an attitude. She's like, hold up. This is your fault. You're the one that got Envy involved and then sent him my way and then took my
You're
gift.
minding my business.
Yeah. And then requiring me to come along so that you could get me back into the court. Like,
And she's doing it. You had him require my assistance for your pathetic game. So she's mocking him through all of
yeah.
this as well.
Then you had the Hex Throne steal my talent. She's like, you're a dick, basically.
Yeah. And toward the end of this railing that she is trying to give him, she happens to say the word please and then mention that she wants to be restored and returned to Waverly Greens. And Lennox absolutely loses his shit because one, she said please, like absolute no for his kids apparently. And he
No
really
child of mine deigned to plead.
yeah.
Yeah. It's an insult to unseelie royalty.
Yeah. And he sticks to her use of the word restored. And he's like, oh, you want to be restored? Okay. And he turns his hand into these crazy talons. And what?
I was just like, were you guys like, what the hell right here?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically slashes the back of her hairline. And
Well, I pictured it like he literally just like carved her like an apple.
I mean, a little bit like
Is
the
that a dog?
caterpillar. Oh my god, I thought that was your youngest.
It sounded
Mine's
like a child.
Sebastian.
Oh my goodness.
No, but that like freaked me out.
No, me too. I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah. And so the back of her head is now pouring blood. And that is, we learn there was a tattoo hidden in her hairline,
Clever girl.
which, yeah, that's why she wasn't worried about Envy finding a tattoo or anything because it was in her hairline the whole time. And all of a sudden, Camilla feels the magic spread over her and her glamour falls. And so her ears are now pointy. Her immortal strength has returned. All of her bumps and bruises that she had, including the slash marks from her dear father,
Dear
heal
Daddy.
instantly, and she feels her talent return. And this is where she makes a point to think like, I cannot acknowledge Envy, even though I can feel like the rolls of loathing coming at me as he sees what I really look like, which they do clarify she doesn't really look that different. It's just she's got pointy ears and
They're shiny.
yeah.
She's got a little
Um,
extra. Her
like
hair's
her
a little
face,
more
yeah, her face is
vibrant.
still her face. Um, and after that, she tries to just dismiss herself, like, all right, I'm gonna go take a
We
bath
done?
now.
We're done.
Yeah.
Here.
And Lennox basically is like, yeah, no, not happening. Like, he has decided he's gonna torture the quote unquote human out of her. And Aiden jumps in and is like, oh, well, she can come with me to my court. And he's like, okay, yeah, no. It seems like those two are probably like the youngest. Mm-hmm.
Before that, though, Camilla, you don't. Changelings, they do delight. Full fae, but with human sentiments. So, like, she's a changeling. I don't understand what that means. I just remember him saying that they would like put changelings in
Mm-hmm.
mortal homes to mess shit up. So I guess
Yeah.
like they can just make them a changeling and they can like look mortal easily or something. I don't. But
Well,
I
and
thought that was weird.
we find out later that the glamour wasn't her own. Like, her mother did that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think maybe her mom is more of the changeling kind and like she can affect others
I thought
or
at
whatever.
some point she said, like, you made me a changeling.
Yeah, she does get on, like she does talk about it more. So I guess we'll just
I probably just
see
poofed
from
right
there.
past it.
Yeah. No, it's later.
Oh,
She
okay.
talked. Yeah, you're good.
Mhm. I was also and still am confused about it as well, though.
Okay, I'm glad you were too.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess while we're stopping, I was just gonna point out, like, when she's talking to Lennox in the beginning, she brings up him sending Wolf to fetch her years ago, didn't work, and then brings up her mom, which is like the first time I guess we're hearing about it in this kind of atmosphere. But she just said, mother said, you do not understand the concept of being denied. So it just starts building like that side of her history that we never knew because we didn't know who she was. But like her mom obviously was
We're gonna find out who she
giving
was.
her the
Yeah,
rundown.
Yeah.
pretty soon. I was so happy to find out who she was.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Aiden offers, and it's very much like they must be the younger two siblings of the four. I very much get that vibe
Mm-hmm.
from them. Lennox is like that basically how he remarks is like, you're joking, right? Like, I'm gonna send you two together. Like, absolutely not. Like, this is a punishment. I want to make her evil, essentially. And
And we know
he's
he
like,
also is fond of mortals too. So that doesn't really help the cause that Lennox is trying to achieve.
yeah. And he's like, nope, she's gonna stay with me. Um, and that's like the absolute worst thing that could happen. Like, he's pretty much the worst being out there. And she definitely goes
Voldemort.
back and forth, yeah, about like what she would have been like had she not been kidnapped and like hidden away. She's like, I could be just like my older brother and sister. It'd just be terrible. But so yeah, after he explains there's not a chance she's going anywhere but right next to him, he tells one of his guards to take her locket. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Like, you're not getting my locket. And it escalates slightly to where he basically cuts it off of her. And he's like,
Now we know
the
why
locket is
Asshat was
mine.
trying to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or Garrick.
And he says the mom stole it when they left. Obviously, it was his.
Yeah. Which he also alludes to that this was his main slash like in tandem with getting her to return, but they were very much like, this locket is the reason why he started messing with Indy's court and whatnot to set up this whole game. Like,
This
he
is
did
so
all of
sad.
that just for this moment.
What a
And
loser.
yeah, like, you clearly have hit ennui. So Lennox involves Wolf and is like, hey, get Envy his prize and basically kick him out. Like, I'm done with him. And then he's like, now claim your prize, Wolf, in regards to Camilla.
I was quite worried how this was going to go.
Me too.
Same. And it is very clear that Lennox is trying to get Wolf to make Envy go bananas, which doesn't quite work yet. He can feel it. Like Camilla knows it too. Like everybody's like, "Ugh, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Like this is about to just go terrible."
It's all an
And-
act. Like Wolf is doing it for the court too.
Mhm.
Right. And about that time, a guard decides to usher him out, and Envy does in fact go bananas. And hits him so hard he lands at Lennox's feet, but like his limbs are backward or something. And Lennox is like, "Oh, I never realized just how road weary you appear.
You
Why
broke
don't
my
I-"
commander.
Yeah. He's like, why don't I offer you a suite so you can like rest up and you can watch the fun, which that like
That's fine. Abort.
yeah, like I don't oh God. When he said that, I was just like, this is not gonna be good. I don't know what's in store, but it's about to go downhill quickly. And Envy accepts to a certain he just walks with the guard to his suite. And that's when Camilla has the full realization that Lennox created all of the issue in Envy's court for the game, and when she realizes that, she's like, which means he will never forgive me now
Poor
for
Camilla.
not
Yeah.
being upfront on top of being, his heir and all this. And that's how the chapter ends.
One of the first things he ever said to her was talking shit about the unseelie. She didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why they're called mortal enemies, right? Like sometimes there is just that person or group of people that have like beaten you down and you're just like, I can't do it anymore. Like I officially hate all of you. Like there's so much hate, it can't just be one person. Anything to add before we move on to 62?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we pop over to Envy in his suite as he is reflecting on how shit his situation is and how he was played by yet another unseelie. And he's super pissed and knows he should leave, but he's even like, "Oh, they'll just deliver the chalice to House Envy." But then he just can't actually physically make himself leave Camilla there that easily. Which then makes him reflect on their entire journey and that perhaps she wasn't as duplicitous as he initially thought. And he knows that her feelings and
She
reactions to
hadn't
him
wanted
were
to
not
paint the
fake.
hex throne.
I mean,
Hmm?
I'm not going to debate this
she
with you
fought
guys,
him.
but like clearly you guys haven't met the right wrong people in life to know that people are like this. Like how he thought she was, there are human beings out there like this. Like
know.
they're real.
No, yeah, but this is a book.
She's
And he
not.
can sense
Which
these
only makes it
things.
even more realistic
loves
for it to be
her.
available.
They
He
can
won't even admit it, but
they
he
can
loves her.
sense each other's emotions. They
They're one.
they can't even there's no secrets on their smells, their scents, their fears. Like
they haven't even known each other but like some weeks. It's not like they've
okay,
been
let's
doing this
not
for
say
5
this
years.
is that's basically
You're the one
the
that said,
level
well,
it
it's a
is.
book. Well,
Guys, right after this, just to get us back, he says God's blood. And I'm like, did that have something to do with Abyssus? But then later on, he says God's blood again.
I
I'm like,
think
that
it's
was
just like
random.
a
I think it's
slang.
just
Like a
like
swear?
GD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, why? What?
Yeah, I just think it's like
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a curse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So then he decides to basically make a mental facts and realizations list. Like, what are the facts? And let's rationalize this out. I won't go through the whole list because it's pretty long. But at the end of it, regardless of how he can rationalize a lot of this away, he absolutely does not appreciate how she absolutely owned him in his court on his throne and how much he liked it. Like
Yeah, I
he
was
is
about to say,
like
but he's
pissed.
like, oh, I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah. And about that time, Wolf comes a knocking, and there is quite a bit of back and forth, but the gist is like, look, if you're not gonna fight for her when things are tough, like you don't deserve her, you need to leave.
See, we need
And
to
I
book
will,
on Wolf.
Go Wolf.
yeah.
You're
And
earning it.
well, and my favorite part of this whole spiel that he had was he will win her back first physically, and then love will come later. Love grows. It's not just a what. And I was like, you're not wrong, dude. Like that's how a lot of relationships are, right? Like you have the physicality of it, and then love kind of just grows in. Um, to which NB does not like this, and he's like, Camilla belongs with me. And of course, Wolf thinks this is funny. And he's like, look, if you hurt her, like I will make you regret it. And he's like, let me take you to her suite. And he's like, nope, not doing it. And Wolf tells him again, like, you don't deserve her. And then he's like, I never said I did. And Wolf basically calls him out for being a coward, which in this moment I agree with that. But and then he's like, "Oh, and if I didn't tell you, Lennox has summoned you. Um, you have to be there in exactly 30 minutes. Don't be late." And then walks off. The end.
I just love this whole chapter with Wolf
Me too.
and like how he did everything. He's basically like just boating him, but being like, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a different side. Like the whole time you thought he was just trying to like make him mad, but he really cares about
Mhm.
Camilla as a
Yeah.
person and it's just like wants to protect her. Yeah,
Yeah.
he would love to be her mate, but he really just wants her to be happy. That's a
Mhm.
pretty genuine thing. Not what I expected out of the fellow that lures the women to
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
knees.
But then we do get Envy to just give in and say that she is his.
Hmm. And like when Envy says he's gone and gotten addicted to the clever, wonderful female who stood up to him from time again. Like he knows he knows he's in love with her.
Everybody else knows.
Get it together, dude. Sorry, Ashley.
You're good.
He notes that her behavior is so much more human than Faye, and like
Mhm.
talks about her dad and how she talked about her father that she mentions and how genuine her feelings for him were.
Yeah.
And that's not something an Ancili would feel typically.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. He since how much she wanted him and knew it had nothing to do with any sort of
yeah,
revenge. Which then
very
just
good.
pisses me off on how he handles it still. But whatever.
Okay. So now we are with Camilla in her suite as she is essentially going down, kind of memory lane on her quote unquote human life. And it is finally confirmed that her mother was, or is, I guess, I don't know, Lennox's wife slash the unseelie queen. Uh,
Flo.
yeah, what Christy said. I'm not even going to try and say her name. I'm probably going to call her Prem the whole time because with my retainers in, ain't happening. So, which we talked about this offline at our last recording, but we did find the passage where they actually do talk about the queen, leaving her court, and they never talk about if she returned or anything. Just kind of took off because she wanted to, essentially. Camilla is definitely very clear on the point that she was kidnapped by her mother.
Yeah.
But it kind of sends her down a rabbit hole of questioning because she's like, but I never really fully understood why. Like she never sat here and was like, this is why I had to kidnap you.
Which is
Um,
why a whole nother book could still be made here, because we have no idea about this mom yet.
Carrie. Follow up. Backstory. Something.
yeah. And so some
She's
of the
trying to puzzle out
questions,
about the locket too, right? Like, why
yeah.
is it important?
So yeah, she's like, why? I want to know why she stole the locket and then left it with me. Like if it was this super important that she felt the need to steal it from this psycho, why would she
But
just
also,
leave it with
why
me?
does she take Camilla? Out of all of these children, why Camilla? That question is never asked.
She's probably just the best one.
Maybe because of her powers to make,
Change things.
objects out of no, like her painting talent. Like
Oh, that's
you
true, because
steal
his whole
the
thing
you
is
steal
he
the
wants to
locket.
get it out of the mortal
Yeah.
realm.
Well, she needs to get both of them out to protect the mortals from Lennox.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good thought.
See, and then it's like, we don't know anything about, like, do her siblings have powers, or it's just her? And why is it just her?
They probably have some kind because they all have unspoken powers, remember?
Yeah. Yes. But then her follow-up question to that is, after all this, like, why is Lennox going through so much to get this damn locket back? And then she's kind of commiserating on Pierre, her human father,
R.I.P.
and she kind of gives us insight into her mom seemingly glamored this poor man into like remembering while she was pregnant and that it's his baby and all of this, but she starts to kind of question
Teaching
that
her how to hold
on,
a paintbrush.
yeah, but and she's also trying to figure out, like, did she really full on glamour him or did he know the truth? And like, or was it somewhere in between and that's why he became so obsessed with everything, especially like the portal key that he was always, doing all that stuff for. And so she's just kind of spiraling into all these questions that, as far as she knows, she's never going to know the answer to.
Yeah, and it's too much to be a coincidence. Like that
Mhm.
he taught her all the things he taught her. I love that she's talked about it before, but her father taught her how powerful love is.
Mhm.
And that's what's kept her from being like her true father, like her siblings. It was
Yeah.
Pierre.
I feel
Well,
like
and he had
there's,
to know something because he had that whole tunnel system.
Yeah, but
well, right.
it never distinguishes if it was just based off of an obsession
Yeah.
Mm.
or if
Like
he
from
knew.
all of her stories that she was
Yeah.
telling him.
See, we need another book.
Yeah. And she does also go on to clarify, like, he did her a huge favor by telling her about the vampire uh king, I guess is what his name is, and
The
the
prince,
seven
yeah.
circles and whatnot. Like, that was super helpful for her and whatnot. And she's kind of wrapping up her internal monologues, and who shows up but Wolf? He's on. And so he
Are
comes
you
to gather her.
indecent?
Yeah. And because Lennox has summoned her. She doesn't really know why, but she has dressed in a much more fey fashion. But she has decided to pick the darkest green dress that she has. And she's wearing his big engagement ring on a necklace around her neck. And it is very clear that she is doing this on purpose. And she knows that Lennox is going to notice immediately. And she also knows that he is going to be pissed off. And she just doesn't give a rat's ass at this point. She's kind of just like throwing self preservation out the window because she's like, no, like not doing it. Um, but, Wolf and Camilla are kind of going back and forth about, Wolf is like, oh, he's such an ass. And she's trying to like not stick up for Envy, but like own her failings and whatnot. But I really liked when she talked about, she was like, no, but Pierre always taught me like I can only own my actions. I can't own the actions of others. Like, so that's all I can own up for.
She is
Like,
so good.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not responsible for anyone's actions but my own.
Yeah. And they're about to leave, and Wolf warns her, like, you need to play your father's game or things are going to end very badly. And that kind of ends the little section in that chapter. Anything before we move on to this next half of the chapter?
No.
Because that's going to bring it up in a second. She describes, oh, never mind. Just kidding. It's a different part. I was talking about the windows and like the roof, you know? I thought she was talking right here about what later?
Oh,
The
gotcha.
sister guy.
Yeah. So we pop over and Camilla and Wolf have gone into the Crescent Court where Lennox has summoned her, which is essentially the throne room. Like that's where his throne is and all of that. And she's remembering as a child, typically there were always fae about in this area. And the roof was always open to showcase the night sky. But as she's walking through, she's realizing it's nobody's there except for a handful of guards and her and Wolf and Lennox. And so she's starting to get a little apprehensive, like, oh, this doesn't bode well. And then she realizes that he has closed the roof, blocking the moon's magic, which essentially never happens. Like, it's too ingrained in their beings to always have the moonlight shining in whenever they can. And she's like, yeah, nope, this is definitely like not a good sign for me. And so the guards come over and usher her up to the throne where Lennox is, and there is an easel and there are paint supplies everywhere. And she's kind of looking around, and Lennox holds up the portal key and her locket and is like, paint the key and lock it together. Doesn't explain anything. And he's like, oh, and if you don't, and he looks behind him, and there sits the chalice of Memori, and he's like, I'm gonna destroy this. And she's like,
Lose-lose situation.
so how do you want them connected? And he's like, I literally don't care. Your talent will, take over and do it however it needs to be done. And
Real quick, after she paints them together, they still exist as separate things, right? She's like making a new thing when she paints them. Okay. I just want to make sure of that because I got a little confused later on.
yeah. So yeah, she doesn't have a choice. And so she's like, okay. And she's painting it. And the second she is finished with the painting, and it is this, or I should say her talent has decided that it's finished, she realizes like, oh crap. And before she can even finish her thought fully, she is knocked across the throne room, bangs her head into these metal bars, and like so hard that her vision is hazy. Like if it were one of us, we would have a terrible concussion, probably a cracked skull, if I had to guess. And she's trying to refocus. And when she starts to refocus, she's like, oh my God, it's a hexed object. She's like, what the hell just happened?
Subject.
Yeah. And then she refocuses a little bit more and realizes that she is not on the floor of the throne room, but she is actually in a cage hanging above the throne room. And it is made out of iron, which we know now that they are severely, I don't know if you want to say allergic or
Like
what,
weakened by it.
like garlic to vampires.
Kryptonite.
And,
Good
yeah.
comparison. Or like sunlight to vampires. The burning, depending on the
Depends
vampires,
what story
I guess.
you're in.
Yeah, if you're in Twilight,
Yeah.
it's just sparkle.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. So as soon as she realizes, like, she's like, you caged me, like, what the hell, let me out. And
You
Lennox is
cannot.
like, he's like, no, and kind of just like dismisses that she's even asking to be let out. And he is like, no, like super pissed. And it all comes back to, he's like, I invited you home twice and you declined both times. He sent her a friend, which he doesn't clarify.
I knew exactly. Did you guys know immediately
Of course.
who
100%.
the friend was? Yeah, okay.
Of course. And you declined. And then I sent you Wolf and you declined again. And she's like, hell no, absolutely not. I was literally kidnapped. I didn't want to leave. Like, I was a child. I was chilling and I was kidnapped. Like, how you going to
And,
be mad at me for that? And he's
and this
like,
is
That's
where
where
they
he
bring up the
says,
changeling. Yeah.
yeah, you made me a changeling.
Then
Then you condemn
yeah.
me.
Go for it. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, you made me a changeling. Then you condemn me for choosing to stay where I'd been just another game piece. I never would have left the wild. But again, another book because what the heck's a changeling? Why did he change her into a changeling?
it is clearly
Is she the
non-essential to
only
the
changeling?
storyline.
But I mean, like,
It is
they said it,
added detail.
that's the third time it's been brought up in the book, at least, though. Like, because they talked about the different things
Mm-hmm.
they would do to mess with the mortals.
So
And then,
perhaps a changeling is not essential to this story, but it may be essential to the next one.
okay,
Okay. Calm your tits, ladies.
We need a second book.
Harry.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, so all of that, and Lennox is like, well, you should have proven your loyalty and come back when I first invited you back. And then he kind of like cuts her off. He holds up the hexed object and is like, do you know what this is? And she's like, no. He's like, this is the Silverthorn key. And she's like, again, like, no. Like, it's all, I feel like it was very much like a slow mo movie in that moment where she's like, holy shit. Like, this can, oh God, please let me be wrong. But he then decides to tell her and then show her it is a direct link from the Silverthorn market, whatever, in
Yeah.
Waverly Green to the Wild Court.
Because it
And
is a realm line. The whole lane is a realm line.
yeah. And it is the portal essentially is a mirror that is like massive that he sticks the key locket connection thing into. Um he's like, let me show you. And he like tells her to shut up, basically. Turns toward the mirror and goes like creepy pretty, essentially. Like he's just unassuming and charming and whatnot. And all of a sudden, humans are coming through the mirror. And it's like Widow, Jasmine, Jaden,
Lady.
whatever.
Janelle.
Juniper.
Janelle. Yeah, Juniper. And Lord Harrington, the
Joanne.
creepo. Yeah. And so some humans are coming in, and the chapter ends with her yelling at them to run. And there's one part I left out, but I figured you guys would bring it up. So if you don't,
She
I'll bring
said,
it up.
please
But
again. It was like, Camilla, stop. He's going to be
yeah,
mean.
but he definitely does kind of ignore that part. But
Mm.
I'll just say, so Lennox does very clearly tell her that he is going to lure every human from Waverly Greens to the Wild Court until the city falls and they move on to the next one.
This is such
Yeah.
a personally targeted attack.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he knows she didn't want to leave there. She loves it.
It's like he's trying to beat it out of her, essentially. Like he's
Mhm.
going full on balls to the wall, the most evil way that he can break her and then build her back up into what he wants her to be, which is evil incarnate.
And inhumane.
Well, they're not humans, so
I know, haha, I know they said that already, but with no humanity at all. Like that, because they despise it.
Mhm.
and then I have finished my lessons.
Good job. Am I so good, Hannah?
All right, chapter 64. We are in Inby's perspective. He's telling us about the wild court and how it used to be lively, passionate, ethereal, and driven by
Sinful,
beauty
delicious.
and wine. Everybody wanted an invitation to the party back then. And now what he's walking into is not that at all. It's gone very dark, very grim. There's cages of people, there's humans chained to the table, some being like skinned. It's very like depraved and cruel.
I even had like a point that I wanted to make about this part. Now it's gone. Technical difficulties ruined it.
That's why whatever gods were up there were like, no, somebody turn off her Wi-Fi.
Well, anyways, as NB's, observing the new wild court, um, he stumbles into Wolf, of course.
Before that,
Who's
though, what they were
what?
doing. So, like, the
Yeah, I did it.
the mortals are already there,
Oh yeah.
and like they're in. A lot of them are in cages, like cattle waiting for slaughter, being like poked with hot pokers. There's flesh is sizzling. Um,
One of them was
and the
definitely being
but the
skinned
worst
alive.
That's what I was about to say. The worst horror, though, is that humans already chosen from their pens were tied to tables, their meat being carved from their bones while they still lived. Even
Mhm.
for a prince of hell, it was horrific. And he saw Lord Harrington getting his flesh peeled away strip by strip. And he's like about to throw up. And he is a demon.
I mean,
Oh.
but I feel like Harrington kind of deserved it a little bit, but
But like this part was like unexpected. Like we have like things are like chill, and then
Mhm.
mortals are
yeah.
getting their like legs eaten while they're alive still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry, that was important.
Makes me think of turkey legs at the
Yes, you
fair.
went into much more detail than I did. Yeah, again, just depraved and cruel. So he runs into Wolf, who again is reiterating, like, this is who Lennox is now. Like, how do you think he's gonna treat Camilla? Um, he's not gonna be kind to the daughter who refused to come home all of these times. And he's like, and do you notice about all of these people? And they're obviously all probably really green to punish Camilla and start her torture. So then he tells him about the portal key that has just been drawn up. And this is when it all starts to click that this game was never about him, that it was truly about this portal key the entire time.
What a
So then
roundabout way to do it, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, isn't this the part when Wolf is like, yeah, he is doing all of this to humans, and she is very clearly more human than Faye. How do you think this is going to translate?
Yeah, like you think he'll be kind to her, but she's more human than Faye. Like that's that part.
So then Wolf kind of just puts back on his facade, like his secondary mask he uses at the wild court, and then goes into the crowd.
Yeah.
Who?
So then Envy starts walking up to Lennox, and that's when he sees Camilla in hanging in the cage above the throne.
It's
So
not a nice picture.
no.
And he's
Um,
like, while he sees her, he's like, surely the king wouldn't subject his daughter to this. Okay, maybe not.
Then he goes into like um he can see that the floor of the cage is being heated, which Camilla has to sit on. She's obviously like magically chained, and how she's not showing any pain. So clearly trying to power through it so she doesn't give Lennox any excitement in her pain. So Lennox is poking and testing at Envy about Camilla. He's like, are you sure this is all you want, or do you also want my daughter? Just like, yeah, I already had her. I'm good.
And when I read that, I was like, damn.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I mean, we know they're all like a game at
Yeah.
this point, but yeah.
He brings up his mortal too, like, oh, it's too bad you didn't bring any. The last one did really like real good stuff with her mouth.
Yeah.
He's just a dick.
So he gives him the chalice. Then let's see. They start talking about Prim and how the rumor, I guess, was that he actually banished her, not that she had left. And he's like, no, she left. She thought I was getting out of hand, essentially, and becoming too depraved, as we know he has.
Clearly.
Yeah. So can't blame the girl on getting the hell out of there. So then he, is kind of dismissing NB, and he's calling his court to Camilla's cage, like who wants a piece of her first. And that's when NB obviously loses it.
That shit.
Yeah, they're like already reaching into the cage and whatnot, aren't they?
Yeah. So they're like attacking
wanna
her like
hurt
she's
her.
the next
Oh.
meal. Yeah. So he has the chalice, he can like feel the power, and he's going through all this and said like he knows like if I use all the power I have left, I've only got a couple of minutes before my court disintegrates. Um, which he does it anyways. So he uses all of his energy to produce his wings finally, now that he has the chalice.
Apparently, they're razor
And
sharp wings. They're like
yeah,
robotic
they're
slicey
death
wings.
wings. They're like knives, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I
Um,
mean,
the wings are like speaking to him, so he grabs one and throws it at Camilla's cage, which frees her. Um, and then he starts to fight Lennox.
he blasts the door open. What's
I
happening?
can't tell if I'm about to have to go ape shit on my neighbor or not. Like, I just heard like banging and then like crazy bass through my noise canceling headphones. I was trying to see if that was crazy or not.
Yeah, so the last of was it this chapter? Yeah. The end of it is a new game had just begun, and this one would end in death.
And we see Lennox's magic. So, like, the first
Mhm.
aspect of it is moonbeam magic, not to be confused with moonbeam ice cream. Thank you, Benson Boone. And it's
Oh, I
just
love my
like
ice cream.
it's like when police do that, like with lights to just kind of like disorient people.
Strobe
You know what I mean?
lights.
Strobe
Mhm.
lights, that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm picturing happen.
Same.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's
It's the
exactly what's
worst.
happening. So,
Thank you.
65. We are back in Camilla's perspective. She is freed by Envy's wing and then immediately is blasted with her father's powers. But she's recalling he has the bright light and then the strobe between the two, the light and dark. Interesting that he has both. Then there's, debacle. Everyone's kind of fleeing, if you will, and she's trying to kind of catch up. She sees Envy's also a little stunned by the power, so it's just complete chaos. Envy and Lennox are still battling it out. She sees gold blood, so she knows that Envy's been hurt, and she's thinking he probably hasn't even had time to heal with everything going on. And then that's when it clicks with his wings and how he must have used all of his power, even knowing what he knows about her and risking everything with his court. Um, so she knows like she has to do everything she can to help him. So she's scrambling to figure out what she's gonna do.
quick question: when you brought up that Envy like lost and shit, did you clarify that? Oh, but maybe it hasn't happened yet. Uh, I'll wait till the end of the chapter. Keep going. Sorry.
So she's scrambling to figure out what she's going to do. Finally, she's like, "Oh, of course, I have my talents. Let's paint something." So she's searching for paint and a brush. Wolf's helping her, which she's obviously like this is treason for him. Um, and she thinks about what she's gonna paint, and it's this famous big iron god sword type thing. I don't remember. I didn't write down
It's like
exactly what
It's
a.
they
like one of
call
the
it.
I figure it
only.
being like a.
It's an
like
iron
curved,
dagger. Yeah, it reminds me of like the like
loopy
wavy
ones.
a sickle
Yeah,
or
that's
a
what I
scythe.
pictured. I don't
A
know
scythe.
the curvy one. The one's like
A scythe.
I was just thinking of a huge sword.
I was thinking of like the curvy blade, like the wavy blade looking thing, but it's made out of
it was
iron.
sharp and iron.
It's
Yeah.
huge. It was very
It was
heavy.
huge.
So she pulls this sword out of the ground that she's just drawn. Iron is obviously something she also is, allergic or weakened by. So she's like bleeding, holding it, but she's determined. She's like slowly one step in front of the other.
She struggle bussing hard.
Yes. And then she finally gets it to them and she swings at Lennox's leg, which distracts him enough to start attacking her so Envy can take a breath. And then Envy is attacking him and he ends up stabbing him, I think through the heart. And as he's dying, he's smiling at Camilla. And he's like, you are my child, through and through.
Final fucking
Because
insult. Like, she does not want to be
right,
that.
right. I'm like, this man.
Asshole.
Yeah, frightened her more than if he had screamed.
I did expect that to drag out a little more. Like, for him to
I
not
did
die so
Yeah.
easily.
too.
But I was like, okay, I'm good
Yeah,
with it.
she
I was
really
definitely
wrapped
also
this
glad.
book up quick.
Yeah.
We had our doubts.
Yeah, she squeezed it in. There's a lot she left out still, which is why she clearly needed another book.
In case you didn't hear.
Um,
Cherry.
I keep trying to tell them you're leading them into the next books, but they're not listening.
so she goes to thank Impy for delivering that final blow and everything, and she feels a hand on her, and it's Wolf, not Impy, and he tells her that Impy has left. And she's immediately sad, knowing, he hadn't forgiven her at all. And she thought maybe he had with the whole use of his power and saving her just now. So then they quickly are like, okay, what do we do right now? And she's like, well, let's get all these mortals back to where they belong. And then Wolf lets her know that the portal key is also missing.
Where, like, you could tell she was just reacting very emotionally because she already had knowledge that, like, oh shit, he used his wings, like, his court's gonna collapse. And she's like,
Mhm.
oh, he left me. Like, you could tell she was just, like, not thinking about what just happened, where she was
Yeah,
like,
like he needs
he
to
doesn't
get
need
back.
to be here.
Yeah.
Man, you two are the queens of double standards over here. You gave her all the grace in that moment and gave him none.
I love her.
He was being an asshole. She has not.
She's a marvelous female lead.
Mhm.
I'm not denying any of that. I'm just saying. So the thing I wanted to say is, did you when you were talking about Envy, like realizing like, nope, now I'm getting in the middle of this. He broke her out with one of his feathers.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
that.
he threw it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I had
Razor
glazed
feathers.
over that. Yeah.
He's like Edward Featherhands. Their wings.
So
And
66.
scissor wings. Yes.
We're at Envy's court. So they have a demon strapped to a chair. They're clearly trying to, get all of this under control. I got the challenge, try to make him drink some special drink to purchase memories and therefore come back. So they're, most of us just send back and forth like, oh, it's been 30 seconds, nothing's happened. Oh, 30 more seconds, nothing's
Does
happened.
he look restored?
Yeah. So clearly, before all this happened, it must have been something that happened like instantaneous. Like the memories were just like
Yeah.
gone.
And it's a guy they know. So they like know
Yeah.
what his personality is supposed to be like.
Mm-hmm. So their first guy, Lord Alden, finally comes to like nothing happened. He's like, what the hell? Why am I chained up? Get me out of here.
Yeah. And see, like, is this a
And
new kinky game or something?
yeah.
He's like, I'm not interested.
I don't know if it's not really significant for this book, but if we do go into the other, she brings up the crone, which it sounds like is probably Amelia and whatever that other bitch's name is.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Victoria's mother.
Creator of the underworld itself.
Yeah. Because he says, suppose he could kidnap her daughters and force her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In case that becomes important.
Yeah, I did bring it up because again, like, yeah, maybe it's important in the next books, but I'm like, why are we still bringing up new shit?
I mean, I already
Um,
told you, but you don't want to hear it.
So Lord Alden's resurrected from his memory loss. They have like this secondary room with refreshments and things. Like, here, go camp out and like regroup and mingle.
Welcome back.
It's like a
Welcome back.
cocktail
Mingle.
party mixer. So they keep doing this for days and days until they have to do them like individually for everybody. So they add more chairs to the room, whatever, but they painstakingly do have to go one by one and have them drink from the showers. So they spend days and then we hear from Alexi and he says, you haven't
Daddy.
mentioned her. You haven't said a single word about her. And they just are arguing back
It's
and
a
forth.
good interaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about
You honestly don't give a shit that she's Sealy, Your
yeah.
Highness.
He's like, she's unseelie, and he's like, yeah, it's just going back and forth. And then Lexi, similar to Wolf, is like poking at him about it the whole time. Like, get over yourself. You know you love her. go
angry
talk
she
to
outplayed
her.
you.
Mhm. He's like, "You're being prideful," like,
That was a jab.
knowing it was
Yeah, he
that
didn't
would
like
be
that
a
one.
would be a problem, and then, as they all love to do, he ends it with a nice ode to Wolf and how, "Oh, you're just gonna let Wolf sit there and comfort and console her then?"
His cock pounding all the memories of you out. Vivid.
They do have some nice one-liners in this book. I'll say, I'll give them
Mhm.
that.
So, that conversation ends and Embiid's brooding. He's off plotting, playing with his wings, and he's just recalling everything about killing Lennox and seeing, you know, Camilla's eyes right before, and he didn't want her to have to do the final blow. He's recalling Camilla was about to tell him who she was at the towers, but he wouldn't let her. But he also had already known, and he was just lying to himself. And, now we get the side of him where he's like, yeah, she, you know, did nothing wrong, pretty much. And it was what it was. So then he starts thinking about Alexi's comments about
Meddling
Wolf.
prick.
And now he's thinking about Wolf and Camilla. Now he's like
Ah,
jealous. And he's like, ugh, what am I going to do about it?
he says God's
Eh,
blood again.
yeah. Then a spy shows up and hands him a piece of paper from the wild court. He reads it, crumples it up, and the chapter ends with him saying, fucking hell.
This line, Miss Camilla Elise Antonia's lover, betrayer, unseelie princess, drove him absolutely fucking mad, even here, realms away from Perry, because he's in love with her.
Mhm.
Yep, that's it. I've already given you guys enough shit about your double standards and whatnot. I'm gonna let it go.
So now we're back with Camilla. She's getting ready for this event. She's got a nice fancy dress on. She comments that she's stopped wearing hunter green several days ago. That she was pining after him, continuously wearing his colors, but he never showed up. And she never got to explain her side. And so now she's like, it's time to move on with my life and go to Waverly Green and see my cat. And
And
Wolf
Kitty.
comes in.
Hey, Kitty.
And Kitty.
And Kitty.
Wolf comes in and is admiring her. And, he's made his intentions very clear. Um, he tries to get Camilla to take rule over the courts, but she does not want to. She has this whole master plan. Her little brother's going to do this one. Let the others be how they are. She thinks her mother will show up sometime soon to take over again. How are we ending the book without knowing anything about this? He again offers to mate for life. She doesn't have to leave. And, same old Wolf interaction with Camilla. Then we get a knock on the door, and it's Kitty and Bunny. So we get to find out about the history there, which we've been speculating on
Mhm.
throughout the book.
As soon as he said a
Um,
friend, I was like, it's Kitty. Obviously, we
Yeah.
were,
Mhm.
we're like, she seems like she knows more.
Yeah,
But she's a good secret keeper.
very good.
We got Kitty and Bunny.
Kitty and Bunny. So we learned that Catherine's glamour broke at the same time that Camilla's did, which is interesting.
So been
I
tied together.
But
Yeah,
it is interesting because the mom is the one that glamored her, and then Lennox is the one that sent Catherine.
that's true. Yeah, not to dig on Carrie, but there are
Maybe the mom
sometimes I'm
still
like,
glamored Kitty though. Like Lennox sent her, but when she decided to stay, maybe the mom glamored her, or maybe Camilla glamored her. Like it didn't have to have been Lennox. He just sent her. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
don't
we do
know.
find out she's the one that decided to stay after she turned her down.
Yeah.
So maybe it is that.
Well, either way, Catherine's glamour broke when Camilla's did because
Because we
and
don't know
she
why.
said, yeah. She had to explain it to her husband because at one point I thought the husband was going to be the magical one.
Same.
And he was all fine with it, which
his Peter.
He's worried about his cock Peter.
Yeah.
His cock Peter.
Yeah, I mean, he at least was aware of that realm, so that probably helped the shock. Um, so also interesting that Catherine married somebody without them knowing who she actually
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. And Bunny the kitty is actually a fey lioness.
Yes.
So she still could be from raw.
She was
That-
already
that
a
has not
big,
been discounted, but
cat. And now she's bigger.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, Camilla and Catherine's conversation. Yeah, like we have been talking about, she was tasked to get Camilla to come back the first time, but she refused. She stayed then to keep an eye out on her, which I think that was still Lennox's request, but then they
yes,
became
when
friends.
she wouldn't come back, he said
Yeah.
he wanted her to stay.
But Camilla does mention like it was a battle because she obviously loves Catherine, but there was always that hint of, are you kind of spying for
Yeah,
my
we
parents?
just saw how terrible he is. So like, there's nothing out of the realm of possible.
Yeah, because Catherine's like, why didn't you tell me anything? And then that's why we're learning this, because Camilla's like, although I obviously adore her, it was hard to fully ever trust her. Yep, the cat.
Yep.
So I guess it just means it's a bigger cat.
Bunny is a lioness, okay?
Wolf's also in the room, so he's kind of a part of this conversation. They start talking about Bexley and
Love this
how,
part.
yes, he became a vampire. And then Camilla explains all this to Catherine and how now she's telling both of them she cut his head off. And he's like, yeah, he's probably not dead. It's really hard to kill one of those things.
Like,
Yeah,
I killed
unless
everybody.
burned him to ash and watched him like float away or something like that.
She's like, oh, so you beheaded him and burned him? She's like, no. Well,
Yeah.
shit. So like that cockroach, we already called him a cockroach. He's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be in another book.
And then again, she's relieved by this. And I'm just like, Camilla, this is like her one character flaw. It
Too
just,
forgiving.
yeah. I mean, maybe just because she didn't want to be responsible for killing somebody, but it's like, this guy is a demon and he needs, like, out of all of them, he needs to be gone. Anyways, we don't care because we're not getting a book two. So then Catherine
Lord
wants to
help me.
know about Envy, how she finds out Envy was one of the demons of hell or princes of hell, and she's obviously, like we know her to be, asking about the wild sex and how it was and all the things, and
She asked
was it
about the
as
painting.
legendary as they say? Yes, she asked about the painting. Then she said, would you sell your soul for another taste? And then another voice jumps into the conversation and says, I'm curious too, Camilla, darling. And it's Envy.
Creep is always in the fucking shadows, just standing by eavesdropping and popping in randomly. That's his
Checking the
one
vibe.
character flaw.
He's checking the vibe before he
Mhm.
enters.
But it was a perfect entrance. And so, yeah, he's asking her, would she sell her soul? And she's just giddy that he's there. But she sees him, his blood or his wings are dripping blood. And she's like, oh my gosh, what did you do? And he has like a furious look on his face and he seems angry. So he asked for privacy with the princess specifically. And so, Wolf and Catherine both being protective were like, not happening. And she's like, no, it's fine. You guys can go. And of course, they're like threatening him on the way out, as Wolf does. He's like, yeah, remember, don't touch her, or whatever he exactly says. But that's how that one ends.
Moral of this whole story is don't surround yourself with just the nice friends. You need those savage assholes in your circle at all times.
Anna's a Catherine
Mhm.
friend, but we won't want you to be a Catherine, but you're a Catherine
Yeah.
friend. You're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. She's not
Yeah.
doing that.
Very true. Gladly will take that role.
I think we got everything there. You guys think?
Yeah, I don't think I. Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 68
All
then.
right.
Yeah. Okay, but jump into it. My first note was, Envy came back. But Alexei's taunts worked and got him to go back to the Wild Court in all his bloody winged glory. Um, he says that first he was feeling like really territorial, and then second, that letter he crumbled up was from his spies saying that Camilla's uh, there were assassination attempts that were going to be made on Camilla, and he just was like, "No, I can't let that happen," because like I feel like he let it like use a reasoning that that would be bad for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and Envy's like, "I'm gonna get you out of here." She wanted to tell him all along. Like in all of the conversation, he's reflecting on all of the signs he missed in their interactions. And she apologizes again, which he notes that that's not an unseelie thing to do. Like it speaks to her character. And then we found out the blood specifically is the blood of her brother's guards. He's like, yeah, it's all his guards, right? Pretty much all of them.
Older brother.
Yeah,
Not.
his brother Onyx, so the bad
Mm-hmm.
boy. And apparently Onyx had ordered an assassination attempt on her. She expected it from both of her older siblings. She's like, I knew this was going to happen eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Indy killed all of his guards and caged Onyx in the same cage that Lennox had put Camilla in, but he like added some extra pizzazz on it. So he's trapped for eternity. There's some more like he can't hear what's going on around him or something.
Yeah.
So
And
he's like,
nobody can hear him.
yeah, he's like trapped in silence for forever, which he probably deserves, you know. Um, and Camilla goes on again, like she was talking to Wolf about her mother. Like she's gonna come back and she'll take care of everything. It's fine. And Envy is fine. Like you have to stop like romanticizing your mom. Like she's not good. She's not good. Um, so that's unlikely. This is my I like almost cried at this part because I loved it so much. He's like, well, grab everything you have with sentimental value, and he moves closer to her. She's like, what are you doing? He goes, grabbing what has sentimental value to me.
Yeah.
I was
That
like,
was like the best.
I know. When I got that part, I was like, oh,
Me
like
too.
what a way to admit that like he's like
Mm-hmm.
through everything, like I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I want to be around you.
Yeah.
What a way to do that. And we didn't deal with her like, well, you didn't talk to me. She was just like, yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Finally. Okay,
And so
bye.
like
I'm out.
they're holding, and I think he said something really clever about being the villain. He's her excitement hit him a second before her desire did, because she brought up the rule, and he's like, "I don't care, fuck the rules, you're mine."
Mm-hmm.
She says, he says, in all the stories, the damsel didn't get aroused by the villain threatening to steal her away, but this was their twisted fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So now he's like, Camilla's mine. We're leaving. Kitty can come. Bunny can come. So Envy magicked Camilla and Bunny and himself home, and Kitty's gonna come along later.
Yeah. As is Wolf, apparently,
I was
which
gonna
he's
say,
not
and Wolf
super
definitely
happy
is
about.
like, yeah, I'll see you
I
soon.
know that Wolf is not gay, but like to me, he's her gay best friend
Yeah.
He
that
might be
also
bi.
wants to sleep with her. He's her bi best friend. There you
Obsessed
go.
with her.
Yeah.
Never put it past
Like if he,
fairies.
but if he wasn't trying to get in her pants,
Yeah.
you know,
But
he's
yeah.
like he's looking out for her.
I feel like he's definitely like loosey goosey with human societal norms. Like he'd be like, nah, it is what it is. It's fine.
Love this. Like, although we're leaving, and she wanted to leave. She didn't clarify when Wolf asked her, like, do you want to go back to Waverly Green? Like, you want to leave this realm, or you just want to leave this court?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't answer. And now we got our answer. She was hoping Indy would come and sweep her away.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's one I need to embroider on my sweatshirt, though.
Yeah.
Grabbing what has sentimental value to me.
That one's perfect. Probably my favorite line in the whole book too. Nothing to add. You hit it all.
You good, Ashley?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one, chapter 69 was a lot of like bullshit about the brothers. It was, I don't know, a little bit of a
Yeah.
filler. So the Sin brothers are kind of settling up on their debts. If you guys remember that they were placing bets on whether Envy was gonna break his rule for Camilla. And they're selling up their bets about from the wager because Envy and Vanilla Camilla. I said
I was like,
Vanilla.
vanilla.
and Envy and Camilla are engaged.
Mhm.
So exciting. They've been focusing on provoking each other and forging a bond stronger than steel. Envy's never been happier than now with his court restored and with Camilla in his life. They can't keep their hands off each other. Um, we learned a little bit more about Pride, the other princess we're talking about, back into this conversation about his wife Lucia. I think it's her mother Cersei, which I think is the crone that no, 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 just different. Just ignore me. She's not. Because he actually has Cersei contained in his house, trying to get answers about where Lucia is. Envy revealed that he didn't say when, but like at some point he saw Lucia since she's been missing, but
He
she was
said, yeah,
glamored.
it's been a few months or something like
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't
Mhm.
during this storyline, unless he had a weird side mission we didn't know about. But he's taunting him like, are you into Victoria? That's a rumor. And he's like, no, he's not going to give up on her. So that was the gist of the end of that chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing to add. None of it was honestly kind of not important.
And then it was funny that Raph liked Bunny rubbing up on his legs.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh, yeah.
unwrath-like. Okay, well, then chapter 70, it turns out that Envy is super sweet. He likes to surprise Camilla constantly with his tender romantic side, gives her gifts and surprises all the time, and they just cannot get enough of each other. In this chapter, he's surprising her and like has her walking around with a blindfold on and brings her to an enormous arched silver door and has the missing silver thrown key, which has the sentimental value because it was Pierre's. So he is the one that stole it when they went back to the Wild Court, or when they were in the Wild Court. And so now they can go visit Waverly Green as much as and whenever they want to, through her dad's realm line, not through the bad place realm line.
And out through the creepy one.
Yeah. And she's like, this is the best gift I could ever get. And she's so excited that he wants to go back with her.
Yeah.
That's all I had for that chapter.
Yeah, I mean, that is the gist.
Look at me summarizing. All right. The very last chapter. This is another surprise. And it's just the next day. So they're sending out outside some doors. When Indy opens it, it is a studio for Camilla to use whenever she wants, fully stocked with every like painting, artsy supply she could ever want. It's got the sense of the wild court. Her favorite flowers, wisteria, all over the place. And so she's like, he thinks of everything. And it's like, well, how better to break it in than stripping down, covering each other in some paint, and rolling around. So they have paint sex, which seems
On
a
a
little weird
canvas.
and uncomfortable.
Honestly, like,
On a canvas.
well, and she goes into detail. Like, he has paint on his junk, and then they have sex, and I'm like, ma'am.
That is going to be a yeast infection.
Uh,
Her fairy healing or protector.
I literally was like, do you not have yeast infections where you live? Like,
I was ignoring it. I was like, don't think about it. It's a love story.
oh, no, that was all I thought about for the rest of that chapter.
My clever line was Envy and Camilla's love story ended with a bang, literally. And this painting that they created with their naked bodies is now his favorite work of art, and it replaced his well-hung bedroom art. They share that they love each other, and Envy says he doesn't care about anything but the female he'd happily break all his rules for from now until forever fucking more. That's
The
all I
end.
got.
That was good.
There's a lot more sex in there. So I didn't go through the details of that, but
Yeah, I do feel like she definitely kind of rushed the end, but
Mad about it. Normally,
I'm
I
not
probably would be,
either.
considering how much was put into the front of the storyline. But
she wrapped it up well, and it was a happy ending.
Yeah.
My heart's happy.
yeah, and I'm not as bothered by the unanswered questions because we know it is an ongoing series, and while it may not focus on them specifically, like the questions are pretty universal, that to the point where like we're gonna find out all the stuff about her mom at some point, like if
You
she ever
think?
comes back.
Maybe even in the prequel books, the Kingdom of the Wicked, right, Ashley? Maybe because Primrose and Lennox have been around for a long time.
Yeah, maybe they're there.
So maybe, yeah, we get more if we
Yeah, but
if we
still,
read
it
those.
definitely won't be specific to their family.
This is like
And I just,
Hannah in Akatar, when you like the first reaction when you get from you have Feyre and
Mhm.
Rhysand, and then you get to a book and it's like Cassian and Nesta.
yeah, it
Why?
took me a long time to get into that one, which I ended up still loving it.
It was
But
so good. Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. I liked them.
we also
so.
got like several books
That's true.
first to, I just feel like she could do a point one.
Yeah, it was
Point one.
beautifully written. I loved how strong Camilla is, and like she's not this like damsel in distress that a lot of them end up being. She matched him so well, and yeah, I was happy with it.
No, me too. All the characters were great. I love it. I was very happy with it. That's why I'm so upset that there's
Need
still
more.
unanswered questions.
Man, any final thoughts?
That's okay.
Besides wanting more?
I'm ready to read a sloth story.
That's the
And that's
next
the
one,
third
right?
one.
No, the third one.
That's the one that's. Oh, okay.
I like a sexy
Second-
nerd. Like that's always
Well,
fun
if
to
we
read.
do, once we've all read them, like I think that would be fun to just do like wrap up episodes, like one.
Yeah,
talk
I
about it.
think let's talk about that. How we want to organize that, because I'm
TBD.
definitely about to read the second one.
Yeah, just to clear it up for our listeners, if you don't know, Carrie Maniscalco is doing, from what I've heard, she already has the third one's coming out, but a book for each of the Princes of Sin. So Throne of Secrets is out. You could read it with or without reading Throne of the Fallen, but obviously you want to read it because it was so good.
So good.
And then the next one, so this one follows Gluttony.
Gluttony.
Yeah. Who we know nothing about. I can't fit that back over there. It's gonna go.
That's what she said.
Awesome. Do we want to introduce our next read?
Ashley, do you have it close by? Because it's yours.
I do, because we were just talking about it. Okay, so the next one is The Wren in the Holly Library. You see that?
Yes.
Oh, I can only see it on my other camera. So, and it says, she broke the monster treaty and he'll make her pay, is the tagline. There are legends in our world, tales of beasts and beauties, creatures and stories that would keep you up at night, of monsters born. All those stories you've heard come from a kernel of truth. So this one is supposed to be inspired by Beauty and the Beast, which is only the
Yay.
greatest story ever told. So,
And there are 2 of them out, right, Ashley? And then our timing, we should get the third one so we're going to be reviewing all 3 of these books. I think that was right.
Yeah, unless we hate this, but we did confirm
Unlikely.
earlier. Yeah, all 3 of the books follow the same main characters.
There
So
you go, Hannah. You get some redemption.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Me too.
me 3. I've literally not read the back or the little dust cover specifically so that I would forget what it was about and wouldn't be excited and annoyed that I couldn't read it yet. So yeah, me.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this book with us. If you didn't, we hope you enjoy the next book.
Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear
Like,
it.
comment, subscribe, please. Join our tangents. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Give us some feedback if you would prefer us to review something else, or in the style we review, or a specific book. We're open.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
Till
wrap
next
this
time.
episode. Until next time.
Love you guys. Love you,
Love you,
sisters.
sisters.
Bye.
Night.